At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights.
I put belt to ass, and you can see that's what I do.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so let's go ahead and talk some Xander Zayas because he's a very popular topic of discussion these days in boxing. You know, he got a lot of criticism from some boxing fans. You know, the ones that don't know what's going on, he got criticism from them because they were saying that he's ducking Virgil Ortiz because Virgil Ortiz and Golden Boy, they're trying to make Virgil out to be some boogeyman that everyone's scared of. And, you know, now they're fighting a guy who never wins any big fights in Erickson Lupin. So, you know, it is what it is. I've dissected that enough. But it was reported for like well over a month that Xander Zayas' first defense was going to be against Giovanni Santillan. And, you know, when I first heard that news, it was like, okay, I like Santillan. I'm a Santillan fan. I like Santillan. He comes to fight. He's a real warrior. Gave Brian Noman a great fight. Had another great fight with Alexis Rocha. He's in great fights, right? So I got no problem with Santillan, but he's a 47-pounder. And, you know, you're going to make him come up to 154. You know, it just seemed like a counterproductive opponent selection. It seems very meh. It seems very top rank. It was very top rank meh. You know, it wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't anything to get excited about, if we're just being honest. But I come here and I present you guys great news because it has been reported that Xander Zayas has turned down the Giovanni Santillan. So you could say maybe he's ducking him. If you want to go ahead and do that, you can say that if you want to. I got no problem with you if you want to say that. But however, he's not trying to fight no Giovanni Santillan because he's not. Xander's a smart kid. Like, he knows that there's better fights out there for him, and he's already fought. Like, he's fought, you know, guys at the Santillan level and passed those tests of flying colors already, right? He wants to be in championship fights against the best opponents he could possibly get. And it turns out that he's turned down the Giovanni Santillan fight, and he's exploring a fight now with the newly crowned and elevated WBA champion, Abass Baraou. Now, Abass Baraou, good fighter, action fighter. He fought Giovanni Tellez. And, you know, Giovanni Tellez was a guy that was getting a lot of hype in the boxing world. People thought Giovanni Tellez was really, really good. And Abass Baraou came and just blew up those plans really quickly. And I was really impressed when he fought Giovanni Tellez because, you know, I've seen his name in the rankings, but I never really watched him fight until that fight. And he was just, angles were great, pressure, stays right on top of you. Smart fighter, just a smart pressure fighter. And a very tough out for anybody who wants to get in that boxing ring against him. So am I mad at Xander Zayas for taking this fight against a full-fledged, true, proven world championship, champion in Abass Baraou? No, this is a great fight. This is a great fight, and this is a chance for Xander to, become a two-time champion, a unified champion, and really start to gain his foothold in the 154-pound division. You understand? I like the fight a lot, and again, I'm not even sitting here saying that it's a walkover. It's not. Abass Baraou can fight. He may not be a big name, he may not be commercialized, he may not be like pushed out there, but that don't mean he can't fight. That don't mean he ain't carrying these bricks in his hands. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have it in his heart and his spirit to go in there and rip that belt off Xander. He's very, very good, and I like that fight a lot. So you guys out here, a lot of people, they want Xander Zayas because Xander Zayas has been pushed by the top rank machine for so long. You know, he's been looked at to be a guy that could potentially fill the shoes of a Miguel Cotto as the next face of Puerto Rican boxing, right? So people want, naturally, when a guy gets pushed like that, people want to see this guy fail, which I understand. I understand it. Sometimes, even me, and I know Xander's manager, Peter Kahn, like, even me, I'm like, when he was fighting these guys like Jorge Fortea, these kind of guys, I'm like, man, what are we doing? Like, is Xander Zayas just some sort of industry plan? Like, is he really that good? But everything that's been put in front of him, from, you know, prospect fights to the fights right before the title to the title fight itself, he's passed every test of flying colors. He ain't been dropped. He ain't had no split decision. He hasn't had a majority decision. He's been a pretty consistent performer. He barely loses rounds when he fights against anybody so far. So, you know, at 22 years old to handle that the way he has, there's something to be said about that. And the fact that, you know, he was presented, like, look, I want y'all to really think about this. He was presented a fight against Santillan. Santillan is a guy that is not a 154-pounder. He's a welterweight. He's a welterweight, mind you, who the last time most people saw him fight, he got butchered by Brian Oman Jr. in his hometown in San Diego. So his stock's not even that high right now. And Xander got presented a fight that was very, very favorable to him. And what did Xander say? He said no. He said, I don't want that fight. He said, I waited, I turned pro at 17 years old or maybe even earlier. 17, 16 years old. I've been professional now for 6 years, all right? I waited 6 years to get to this level. He turned it down. He said, give me him. Give me Abass Baraou, the new champion. Because, he can't fight Bakram, right? Bakram, I don't know what's going on with Bakram. I don't think he can fight him right now. And then all the other champions, he can't fight them. So the only guy he can fight at this moment in time is Abass Baraou. And Virgil Ortiz don't really want to fight because Xander said yes to Virgil when he wasn't a champion, and he said yes to Virgil when he was champion. But Virgil Ortiz and Golden Boy, they think they can dictate shit to the champion. And you're not the champion, you are the challenger. So you have to play by the champion's rules and concede to the champion's demands, or at least negotiate terms where the champion is happy and you're happy, But they don't even want to do that. They're trying to strong arm them into a fight. So, that's why they're going to fight Erickson Lubin in a fight that really is a good little fight, but it ain't really moving the needle. And Virgil Ortiz is almost, like 27, 28, still ain't been in a world title fight. We're still waiting for Virgil Ortiz to be in a title fight. So while he's doing that and playing his tacky games, Xander Zayas is about to try and take over this division. Like, take this shit over, Because think about it. If you get a belt at 54 against Abass Baraou, which, again, I reiterate, it is a tough fight. So respect to Xander and Abass Baraou for potentially stepping up to the plate and making this fight happen. But if he does beat Abass Baraou, now you're talking about Xander already having half the belts. And so now, if you're Virgil Ortiz, now you're really going to be in a hard position. You're going to really be checkmated in a bad position if you want to come negotiate a fight, right? Same thing with Boots Ennis, any of these guys. You're going to have Xander going to be dictating shit because Xander is out here moving like a professional should move, how a champion should move. He's not fighting, some guy from Angola. He's not fighting some guy from who never wins any big fights like Virgil Ortiz is with Erickson Lubin. He's fighting someone that actually won a title, actually proved himself at the top level. So I digress, but you guys can make it that what you will. Xander Zayas versus Abass Baraou. That's the fight he's exploring to make now. He has turned down the Giovanni Santillan fight. So for those of you calling Xander Zayas a diva, a manufactured top-rank hype job, he's going after the only guy he can fight right now, which is Abass Baraou. So he's gonna try to unify the division in his first title defense. He's not taking a voluntary. He's not fighting a mandatory. He's going straight into a unification fight. So make it that what you will, and leave your comments accordingly. And yeah, like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.